Michael Collins' story didn't begin in the lab or on a battlefield. It began in Philadelphia, where a quiet, brilliant kid clawed his way through school on scholarships and stubborn determination. He married Tracy, became a father to Nicholas, and built a life defined by compassion and intellect. His talents carried him to Stark Enterprises, with Cybertech Systems, a Roxxon subsidiary, lured him away with promises of innovation and leadership. For 5 years, he led their software division, convinced he was designing neurological prosthetics that would restore dignity to the disabled. Never in a million years did he imagine his work was being used to create weapons. See, long before Michael arrived, Roxxon had stolen the dimensionally displaced cyborg Deathlock to demolish him with S.H.I.E.L.D. Harley Riker helped to dissect it, reverse engineering, and build a purely robotic Deathlock that was later destroyed. Riker resurfaced in Cybertech, where he built a new Deathlock to see the brain of Colonel John Kelly, killing Cyborg performed flawlessly until his brain tried to override the computer's commands. The system electrocuted him to protect himself. Cybertech
He will come back and be down.
prepared to start again. That's when Michael stumbled onto the truth. They were using his inventions on the Deathlock program. He confronted his supervisor Riker, unaware he was speaking to the architect of the program.
This is the one that had a glitch, but from what I heard, they upgraded the patch, so we'll see.
He was forced to watch as Cybertech deployed him to the South American nation of Estrella. Under Cybertech's program, the cyborg executed guerrillas resisting Roxxon's SAM project. When he was ordered to kill a little girl, using his programming expertise, his brain briefly seized control of the cyborg, sparing the girl. Deathlock was taken back to Cybertech for diagnostics, where he was able to take full control of the cyborg, break free, and escape. His first impulse was to go back to the people he loved, but the moment his wife saw him, fear eclipsed recognition. The shock in her eyes cut deeper than any weapon, leaving Michael convinced there was nothing left for him in this world. In that despair, he decided to leave his son one final lesson before giving up. Slipping into his son's video, he told the boy that doing the right thing is harder than taking an easy path, and that real heroes choose the harder road. As the words left his mouth, Michael realized they weren't just meant for his son, they were meant for him as well. Instead of surrendering to hopelessness, he chose to rise. From that point on, Deathlock turns evil to transformation into a force of good. Deathlock wandered the scenes back out,
just like
stopping muggings, pulling people out of danger wherever he could.
Did they bring back Sal?
Was Jesus Valdemonte, Kodiak worker who insisted on operating the site, which extended after Deathlock saved his life. From there, Michael reached out to his old colleague, now the job Michael once had, and arranged with White as Jenny to treat Jenny delivered, but the woman transmitted Riker's bed raised his sick. Riker responded by unleashing Mainframe to obey Deathlock. Mainframe failed to take it because of the entire situation screwed Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D.'s radar. Deathlock then returned to his room, determined to set things right. Fighting alongside the Marines, he helped defeat Roxxon's forces and destroy the damn thing with their strike, crippled the corporation's entire operation. From there, he headed back to Cybertech to confront Riker directly. At the gates, Nick Fury intercepted him and struck at him, helped bring Riker in and S.H.I.E.L.D. back. But once inside, Riker played on Michael's weakest wrong, promising to restore his human body. This quick provoke, Deathlock agreed to stay as Riker's protector, but later to realize he had been manipulated yet again. Refusing to be used any longer, he turned Riker over to Fury, along with the evidence needed to finally find him. Then, at Deathlock's request, Fury visited his wife, assuring her Michael was alive, working undercover on the
Time to finish this.
And leaving her back with Michael. The tragedy faced was stranger, initiated deeper into the secret technology approach. He helped misconduct the battle with Rogue Robot, featuring inside the games, alongside the architect discovered the violence, and Spider-Man against the 616, Sleepwalker against Mr. Effect. Although Michael kept his distance, he never stopped marching over his people. His Michael that's when he discovered Nick's friends pushing drugs and using Nick as a mule. Following Nick's trail, brought him to a gang gathering which secretly consists of kids. Forcing Deathlock to step in, the Punisher burst in to exact revenge for the murdered children, known as Captain Killer. With no better option, the two unused allies joined forces to get Nick back. When his mother Tracy discovered she was pregnant, she told S.H.I.E.L.D. she had figured out biomass. His brain attacked him. After defeating biomass, Deadlock came to the realization that his presence may endanger the extent, so he returned to Liquid. Download now.
You can rest easy. I'm here. Shut up. Not bad.
Michael accepted and was even able to bring his family with him, but not long after arriving, he found himself fighting alongside T'Challa against Moses Mack and Killjoy 3. Killjoy severed one of Deadlock's arms while shielding T'Challa, but Wakandan technology restored him. Magnum released the information and launched an invasion of Wakanda. Deadlock crippled Magnum's command and control systems, making a threat and preventing the full scale. Deadlock and his family then returned home. Fortunately, Deadlock returned home just in time and fought the hospital. In the chaos, Tracy went into labor, and Deadlock abandoned the battle to rush into the hospital. Daughter was shortly after being released from the hospital. Tracy took the children to the west, not too afraid of she was going. She no longer raised children in the shadow of the danger of the bomb. Deadlock's cybernetic physiology grants him a full suite of superhuman abilities.
Come on. You're
His
never going to win that pathetic little amount of effort.
calculated storage capacity with a hyper-efficient computer mind. Much of his brain has been replaced with an advanced AI that enhances his intelligence, tactical processing, and combat knowledge, while also allowing him to interface with, manipulate, and override PRI systems. His artificial eyes and ears operate far beyond his limits, scanning multiple light spectra and recording sensory data with precision. His body is almost entirely animal, built on a pure adaptation intelligence with elastic
Not adamantium.
musculature that provides immense durability, strength, and speed. Despite his size,
That wasn't that hard.
with exceptional agility, stamina, and reflex, and his internal nanite rapidly repair organic components. Supported by a simplified but efficient physiology, it requires oxygen, sleep, and liquefied liquids. His onboard system knows the equivalent of dozens of mainframe computers, giving him genius-level programming skills, encyclopedic knowledge, and a mastery of both hand-to-hand combat and advanced weaponry. Built-in armaments, including a plasma pistol powered by his internal reactor, plus a plasma rifle and grenade launcher stored in his backpack unit, make him a walking arsenal as well as a living superhero. Well, that's the origin of the Marvel character Deadlock, who continues to adventure in the world of villains. Now, before you power down, help me override the system by hitting the like button, leaving a comment, and subscribe to override the system and load this video. That does it for this one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
I'll crush you with all of my might.
Marcus grabbed my collar and yanked me up. Pain flared through my spine, but something else hit harder. My eyes locked onto the tattoo on his arm.
Something is different?
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, it is. I call this
Developed an
board
identity
pickle.
and fan base all its own. I still see comments from people who either didn't realize or just forgot that the two shows are connected. There's even been some speculation among fans that they may not actually share a universe at all. And while the idea of alternate realities may seem ridiculous at first, we're talking about a pair of MTV sitcoms set in suburbia after all, there is an interesting conversation to be had here. Not just because the shows are so different and seldom acknowledge each other, not just because trying to reconcile their timelines is basically a fool's errand, and not just because the Beavis and Butthead multiverse is literally canon now, but because these two series really are a testament to the nature of creation, and how writers with contrasted perspectives can sometimes go down very different paths with certain ideas and characters, even if they started in the same place.
Get out of here, Beavis. We're very fortunate. Nothing parts of the world.
Okay, so a bit of background. Beavis and Butthead began life as a pair of animated shorts created by Mike Judge. These shorts first aired on MTV in 1992 as a part of Liquid Television, an animated pilot showcase for potential series. Basically, MTV's version of something like Oh Yeah Cartoons or What a Cartoon. Beavis and Butthead was one of the ideas that was picked up and premiered as a standalone series in March of 1993. Season 2 premiered in May of 1993 with the episode Scientific Stuff, which featured the very first appearance of Daria Morgendorffer.
Butthead are complete imbeciles.
Yeah, right. Daria was sort of the perfect foil for Beavis and Butthead. Whereas they're a pair of loud, sexist, self-destructive idiots, she's a quiet, straight-A student who exists almost entirely outside their incredibly narrow view of women. Even though her first appearance on Beavis and Butthead was probably her most significant, she would still go on to become a recurring face around Highland after the fact. But MTV apparently saw potential, and the network began developing a spin-off series starring Daria around 1995. It eventually premiered in March of 1997, almost 4 years to the day after Beavis and Butthead's launch.
SOS. Sail overboard.
The series premiere of Daria opens on her first day of school after her family moves to the town of Lawndale. Later in that episode, Daria's mother Helen specifically name drops Highland, while Daria herself alludes to her hometown's less than stellar reputation.
You don't
Are
want
you
to
ready,
be
nigga?
Highland
'Cause I got you
already.
this time.
Not much chance of that happening. Unless there's uranium in the drinking water here, too.
So, case closed, right? I mean, there you have it. A direct callback to Beavis and Butthead that indisputably places the two shows in the same
Not like a
to 1997, almost 4 years to the day after Beavis and Butthead's launch.
SOS. Sail overboard.
The series premiere of Daria opens on her first day of school after her family moves to the town of Lawndale. Later in that episode, Daria's mother Helen specifically name drops Highland, while Daria herself alludes to her hometown's less than stellar reputation.
You don't want to be Highland all over. Not much chance of that happening. Unless there's uranium in the drinking water here, too.
So, case closed, right? I mean, there you have it. A direct callback to Beavis and Butthead that indisputably places the two shows in the same continuity. And yeah, it definitely started that way. Over time, though, that connective tissue became increasingly tenuous. And that may have everything to do with who's in the writer's room. Though Mike Judge created Beavis and Butthead, he had virtually no involvement in Daria's spin-off series. And from the sound of things, he wasn't particularly happy about that at the time. In a 2011 interview with Vice, he even kind of implied that he still hadn't actually seen the show at that point. He said, "They became determined to do it without me, I guess, so they went and hired all these people. I had no idea. So I was a little pissed off about that, and I just disassociated myself with it. I liked the character, and I know they had a couple of great writers on that show, so it must have been pretty good." Daria's cool. But while Judge himself wasn't involved, MTV very much kept the show in the family, so to speak. The two credited co-creators of Daria's spin-off are Glenn Eichler and Susie Lewis. They were given the keys to the series after working extensively on its pilot together. Prior to this, Eichler had been a writer and story editor on Beavis and Butthead. In fact, he wrote the very first episode of the show as a standalone series after MTV picked up Judge's pilots. Meanwhile, Lewis had been a producer on Beavis and Butthead. More specifically, she was in charge of the music video commentary segment.
Aim higher together. You know me. I'm always aiming higher. Beyond the beyond. This is the closest I've ever been. Let's see if I'm there yet. Try to keep up. Now you got
Get my lick back.
Time to finish this. This ends. Nope. Now you got. Just you want. Come on, do better. Eat this. Stay focused. Eat this. Try to keep up. Time to finish this.
Why, you master!
What the fuck was that?
Is this all? This is fun. Try to keep up.
Oh my God, with that.
Come on, do better. Try to keep it over. Not yet. Time to finish this.
Damn.
Time to finish this.
Got it.
Worthless. You too possess a god's power.
Prominence!
Damn it.
You've got no chance, regardless of what transformation I've undergone.
B. They hating ass. They hating, bro.
Which are obviously just a huge part of that show's identity. It also sounds like it's creator complemented each other nicely when it came to crafting Daria's identity as a show. Basically, Eichler brought the book smart while Lewis brought the street smart. They were sort of a real-life Daria and Jane that way.
Let's say I'm an alien and you're you. This better be hypothetical.
That being said, given that Eichler was the writer of the duo, you do kind of get the impression that he was sort of the main creative voice behind the show, especially considering that he wrote every single season premiere and finale, as well as co-wrote both Daria movies. In 2017, Vice got a bunch of Daria's cast and crew members together for a big retrospective interview to celebrate the show's 20th anniversary. During the chat, Daria's voice actress Tracy Grandstaff and MTV Animation founder Abby Turtley both concurred that Daria as we knew her in the spin-off is basically just Glenn Eichler if you were a teenage girl. All of this feels really relevant to mention because Mike Judge and Glenn Eichler are two very different creators with very different backgrounds and comedic influences.
You want to train with me for a bit? And no need to
During
hold
that Big
back.
Vice retrospective, John Garrett Andrews, who worked as a producer on both Beavis and Butthead and Daria, revealed that because of those differences, Judge and Eichler weren't exactly the best of friends back in the day. He said, Glenn was the polar opposite of Mike Judge. He was in Texas, worked everything out himself, taught himself animation, and studied comedy by watching Lenny. Glenn was a Harvard-educated guy, and to be quite honest, Mike wasn't a fan of him. One person who tends to be overlooked in all of this is David Felt, the Beavis and Butthead writer Premier, who actually created the character of Daria, technically, and colored the episode featuring her first appearance. And while Mike Judge apparently didn't care for Glenn Eichler's more highbrow material, Duncan seems to really appreciate the added perspective that Eichler brought to the table. He said, Glenn's a really good writer, but much more literate. I'm a good writer about stuff that's really stupid.
Okay, why don't you try this? Analyze the friction caused by digitally oscillating meter.
With all that in mind, it's not hard to see how or why Daria quickly carved out its own distinct identity, separate from Beavis and Butthead. Does that mean it somehow formed an entirely separate woman in the process? Well, I want to point to that Vice retrospective one last time, because while discussing Daria's early development, supervising director Karen Fisher used some very interesting phrasing. She said, MTV put out a casting call to all the artists at the studio and said anyone was welcome to submit ideas of what Daria would look like if she moved away from Island and into her own universe. The only directive was to keep her familiar, but make her a little less rumbled and a little slick. So, let's see if we can figure out if there's more than just a couple of states separating Highland and Lawndale.
If you didn't know, Cleveland is a cash business now where you can get up to $250. I know what you're thinking, what about my credit? But there's no credit checks with Cleveland. And even better, there's no interest. So if you want to pay $75, you just have to pay $75 back. No minimum direct deposit needed, no pay stubs, no W-2 forms, and to top it all off, you get to choose the week and the day that works best. So if you're ready to stop losing those freedoms, do yourself a favor, download the app and immediately start sweating for this.
So here's the thing. This app can pay the player to begin sharing advertising revenue with them.
Yeah, but don't these apps have all those annoying rules like minimum cash outs or fees?
That's exactly right. Display stands out. No minimum cash outs, no hidden fees. It's fair, easy to use.
Seriously? Because I have tried others, and I have to say my experience with those apps was not good.
Right. As someone who tested dozens of these so-called apps, I can tell you that 90% of them never get paid out of them. But this one's different.
Okay, but is this going to eat up all my free time?
It depends on you. I literally just play casually, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, cash balance stacks up in the background.
Fine, but does it actually pay? Like actual cash I can spend?
Yep, straight to your PayPal, or you can pick gift cards like Amazon, Walmart, or Target. No weird virtual cards.
Alright, I'm sold. What was it called again?
Just Play.
Better not disappoint me, Just Play.
There's a big promotion coming up where they're boosting payouts for a limited period, so they're pretty good timing, actually.
Back off!
Like I said, the Daria series premiere establishes the family's move from Highland to Lawndale. At the time of the show's debut in March of '97, Daria's most recent appearance on Beavis and Butthead had actually been in the movie Beavis and Butthead Feed America, which released in theaters just 3 months prior in December of '96. Neither show ever gives a reason for why Daria moved away, but I'd like to think that armed ATF agents breaking into her classroom and assaulting her teacher was the final straw for her parents. Shut up. Beavis and Butthead did acknowledge Daria's move as well, albeit much later during the show's short-lived first revival in 2011. Beavis, well, he misremembers what happened to Daria, and Butthead has to be the one to tell him that she left town.
I know Daria killed her. This is it. She didn't kill herself, she just moved away.
Pretty dark. Funny enough, this conversation takes place during a music video segment, which feels fitting since that used to be Susie Lewis's job on the show. But this moment, as well as Helen being dropped Island in Daria premiere, are really the only examples of the two shows directly acknowledging each other. Beavis and Butthead don't bring Daria up again for the rest of season 8, and beyond that throwaway line in its first episode, Daria really downplays the Highland of it all for most of its own 5-season run.
So this is where it all began. Speaking of unpleasant memories.
She very rarely goes into detail regarding what her life was like before moving to Lawndale, and never once does she mention Beavis or Butthead by name. The only time spin-off Daria even acknowledges their existence is in non-canon material that deliberately breaks the fourth wall, such as her interview with CBS, or the time she and Jane hosted an MTV music video countdown.
The names Beavis and Butthead ring a bell. Dig dork.
This is a perfect representation of just how how disconnected the two shows often feel. Even though it should theoretically make perfect sense, Jane saying the names Beavis and Butthead does just feel wrong somehow, like she's tapped into some kind of forbidden knowledge. But the music video they're filming to literally stars Beavis and Butthead. It's the Red Hot Chili Peppers video they did for Beavis and Butthead to America, so not acknowledging it would have been even weirder, especially since it's non-canon and it doesn't really matter. But the main series is a different story. Daria ignoring Beavis and Butthead usually feels pretty passive, like she never has much of a reason to bring them up, but there's at least one instance where it feels more like a conscious choice.
Not really.
Daria's Season 5 finale, Boxing Daria, is by far the most flashback-heavy episode of the series, offering our most detailed look at Daria's childhood. But despite the fact that these flashback sequences would ostensibly take place in Highland, they called no attention to that whatsoever. And so if you go into this episode expecting to see Little Beavis or Little Butthead, sorry to say, you're going to be disappointed. There are some valid reasons for this. After all, this is in the final regular episode of Daria, serving as the emotional and thematic climax of the entire series. Loading it up with Beavis and Butthead Easter eggs and cameos would have only distracted from the story being told here. But the fact that they don't even mention Highland by name this time is pretty glaring regardless.
Back when they were kids, we all have.
On a similar note, Daria's spin-off series gives her and her family a lot of ties to the area around Longdale. Her parents both attended a nearby college, and she and her sister went to a nearby summer camp when they were kids. Other relatives, like Daria's aunts and grandmother, are also implied to live relatively close by. This feels worth mentioning, since it seems more likely than not that Highland and Longdale are pretty far away from each other geographically. Highland is canonically located in Texas, and while Longdale's location is never explicitly stated, Glenn Eichler apparently once said that Daria takes place in the mid-Atlantic region. And as I laid out in my video on Daria's parents, there is some compelling evidence in favor of the East Coast setting.
No, Dave, but Middleton was a colonial religious college.
It's always possible that Daria's parents moved to Texas as young adults and decided to return home once their daughters were old enough. But, in all probability, the new writers just wanted to give their lead character a more self-contained backstory. Spin-off Daria really gives the vibe of someone who moved from, like, a town over, not a different part of the country entirely. And for the record, Daria isn't the only guilty party in terms of one show just kind of hand-waving the other away. OG Daria straight up appears in Beavis and Butthead's original series finale, Beavis and Butthead Are Dead, which closed out Season 7. The kicker is that this episode first aired in November of 1997, after Daria's spin-off had already aired its entire first season.
Well, I guess it's kind of sad that they're dead and all.
Not counting Beavis and Butthead to America, in which she just has a non-speaking cameo, Daria's most recent Beavis and Butthead appearance at that point had been in Season 6 episode Sprout, which aired in January of 1996, nearly 2 whole years before Beavis and Butthead Are Dead. Bringing her back for the finale was definitely a conscious choice.
In the meantime, I hope you guys don't starve to death.
Again, it's not a super significant appearance. Beavis and Butthead Are Dead is pretty much just a glorified clip show, and Daria's really only there to throw to a compilation of her greatest hits. Plus, you can easily dismiss this as taking place before she moved away. Still, the fact remains that neither show seemed particularly concerned with staying 100% consistent with one another. Their priority was telling the story. But that's the thing that leads me to just how literal Eric Disher was being when she talked about Daria not only leaving Highland, but entering her own universe. We also have the power of hindsight here. The concept of different versions of the same character existing in separate realities is something mainstream audiences are far more accustomed to today than they were back in the 90s. So it's not hard to see why people may retroactively use this as a way to explain the inconsistencies between Daria and Beavis and Butthead, which we've really only scratched the surface of so far.
Are you hearing no? Tilt is here to change that. While traditional lenders are quick to say no, Tilt finds ways to say yes. Looking at your income and spending, not just your credit score. Can you give cash or credit? Money feeling tight between paychecks. Get a cash advance in under 3 minutes. No interest, no late fees, no credit check. Looking for extra spending power? Tilt credit cards earn cash back and give you more ways to boost your credit limit. No security deposit or credit history needed. Need even more flexibility.
I must be sleeping. I do got shit to do tomorrow.
With different ways to
I was just playing all around.
Tilt sees the effort you're putting in. No thought will come. That should count for something. It's cash and credit. Like your potential.
Just like the good old days.
Be gone!
When you deliver with DoorDash, you get to choose when you do it and when you don't.
Okay, I think I'll do it now.
That works, yeah. But if it doesn't, you can also set your schedule around your other commitments.
Good, because I have a lot of those.
Tell me about it. So whenever it works well for you, you can make a few extra bucks.
I guess I do have an hour to go.
Earnings on your time. You can enjoy more quality time. Make money on your time. DoorDash. Sign up today.
Check out Daria. She's thinking. As Fisher noted, the team behind Daria started distinguishing the spin-off from Beavis and Butthead the moment they started working on it by redesigning the eponymous character, and they really followed the directions to the letter, crafting a distinct new look for Daria that stood on its own, while still being more or less recognizable to Beavis and Butthead fans. But this leads to yet another example of Daria quietly ignoring Beavis and Butthead, as anytime we see Daria herself in a flashback, her design is always based around her spin-off appearance. The way she looked and dressed in Highland goes completely unacknowledged. Ninth grade is just an off year for her, I guess.
I have some questions about activewear.
Daria's art style in general is kind of a perfect metaphor for how the show became more and more divorced from Beavis and Butthead over time. In the beginning, it obviously was different. The line work was thicker and the approach to character design changed as a result, but it was still similar enough. You could tell the two shows were cut from the same cloth. Daria's season 1 color palette in particular feels very Mike Judge, but as the spin-off went on, it became more and more unrecognizable from its predecessor, especially after season 3 when the art direction underwent a significant overhaul.
We're animated within the constraints of empty.
Daria's characterization is also a little different between the two shows. While her unamused glare and nonchalant attitude has made spin-off Daria an icon, Beavis and Butthead Daria is a bit more expressive, more easily flustered, and not as consistently well-spoken.
Forgive me, Mr. President. Beavis and Butthead are emotionally, special.
There are even multiple scenes in Beavis and Butthead where Daria can be seen full-on laughing with the rest of her peers, which completely flies in the face of her spin-off's title humor. You know, that thing that's supposed to tell new viewers everything they need to know about Daria without saying anything at all. I'm pretty sure Daria laughs more in these couple of seconds than she does in the entirety of her solo series. At most, we hear a chuckle or two out of her.
Right. And it's destiny.
It was her.
You could just write this off as Daria reinventing herself a bit after moving to Lawndale, but once again, the flashbacks really undercut that idea.
You're never going to make friends if you keep your nose very close.
I'm honestly kind of interested in doing a step.
Oh, that's Cal!
But Daria
Get out of here, Rocky.
the only
That's
character
Cal.
to exist in both shows, ironically just adds to that feeling of separation. Like, they really did just press the reset button on her. To that end, Lawndale High School feels like a reboot of Highland High in a way. I mean, you've got the hippie-dippy teacher, the ex-military hothead, and the shady principal who cares more about making money for the school than helping their students. Lawndale even kind of has its own Beavis and Butthead. I've sort of neglected to talk about Kevin and Brittany in these Daria videos so far, but the short version is, they have about 2 brain cells between them, and Brittany has both of big brain cells.
I just love laundry detergent boxes. They're so happy.
Wow, these were really big machines. While I'm at it, Daria is a show that also isn't nearly as fantastical as Beavis and Butthead. It still exaggerates teenage life for comedic effect, but generally keeps things grounded in reality. The more outlandish stories are few and far between, and tend to be either implicitly or explicitly non-canon.
Wow, that's some dream. It was nice of you to take the rap for killing Kevin.
In contrast, Beavis and Butthead is actually pretty out there. Sure, most of the episodes are just these two screwing around at home, at school, or around town. But, like, there's literally an episode of season 2 where Butthead shoots a 747 out of the sky with a shotgun. That one ended up being pulled from circulation for a while, if you can believe that. But it's the Beavis and Butthead of movies that are especially wild. Beavis and Butthead Do America is basically...
Oh, that shit got home in.
Thriller, but I mainly want to talk about Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, which premiered on streaming in 2022 and kicked off the show's second revival. This movie arguably offers the strongest evidence in favor of the alternate universe theory, seeing as how it just up and confirms that a Beavis and Butthead multiverse exists. And not just as a throwaway gag either. It is the entire crux of the movie's plot, in addition to being a major part of the revival's presentation overall.
Growing up, dull wooden airplane. as we look upon that universe.
In one fell swoop, the idea of Daria existing in a separate universe went from being a relatively devious fan theory to something that's honestly looking more likely than not at this point. But before I fully sign off on this theory, I do want to look at it from the other side, because while they certainly seem like very different shows on the surface, Daria and Beavis and Butthead have a lot more in common than you might realize as well. Beavis and Butthead and Daria are two shows that were informed by the exact same moment in history. When Beavis premiered in the early 1990s, the grunge movement was in full force, reflecting a generation of young people who were growing increasingly disaffected with the world around them. In a time that left many teens and young adults wondering just what the point of it all was, being a slacker became cool and Sarah took a backseat to irony.
I wish I were Cat.
Both shows are bitingly cynical in the depiction of that particular era. For its part, Beavis and Butthead satirizes the MTV generation by highlighting the absolute worst examples of it. Two complete morons whose utter disregard for anything beyond their own desires regularly put themselves and others in harm's way.
Even better, Beavis. Kick his ass.
Daria, on the other hand, is all about a girl who is acutely aware of just how vapid the world around her is, and largely sees herself as being above it all. But by cutting herself off from most of her peers, she's also robbing herself of a lot of social development and personal growth. She's exceptionally intelligent and witty, but also very detached, which obviously has its own differences.
Live in a world like ours at a time like this with a sister like mine.
These two shows really are opposite sides of the same cultural coin. They're doing the exact same thing, just in different ways. Beavis and Butthead being more visceral and slapstick, while Daria is more cerebral and deadpan. And to be clear, I'm not saying one is necessarily better or worse than the other. They both certainly have their place.
How the hell do you get such reaction time? That's so
Another time, you just want to laugh at something
talking about the freedom!
To appreciate what both shows have to offer, it's not hard to find some partisanship on that. Some people writing Daria off as pretentious, or Daria fans turning their noses up to Beavis and Butthead's free humor. And that's kind of disappointing. It's hard to tell for sure whether the two shows share a universe, but they definitely take place in the same world. Even so, it's easy to see why MTV believed that Daria could be a successful standalone character. For starters, her spin-off was explicitly created as a way of appealing more to the network's female viewers. But more than that, Daria also deliberately pushed back on a lot of other MTV programming. In behind-the-scenes documentaries, Tracy Grandstaff specifically mentioned how the goal with Daria was to depict women as being smart, countering the spring break type stuff that was popular on MTV in the 90s and 2000s. Daria doesn't go out of its way to attack that sort of thing, but it does interrogate that culture from a point of view not typically seen on the network at the time.
The girl turns pretty, and your first reaction is, oh, what a happy teenager. But maybe that's not the whole story.
Attracting a female viewer base is one area where Beavis and Butthead sort of fell short, at least in the eyes of the network. That was allegedly part of the reason the 2011 revival was so short-lived. There were other reasons as well, all seemingly stemming from the fact that the landscape of MTV has changed dramatically in the 14 years the show was off the air. But regardless, Beavis and Butthead's sexist antics were apparently a turnoff for some. Now, to be fair, Beavis and Butthead as a show is clearly anti-sexist. Once again, it's doing the same thing as Daria, just in a different way. Daria shows sexism is wrong by depicting intelligent, capable women, while Beavis and Butthead shows it's wrong by depicting these morons as raging sexists.
Time to finish this! At least I knew how to eat it! You're done! This is it! Done!
Talking in your sleep, I know you want to cry all night.
Excellent! Amazing!
Plotting, scheming, finding.
The planet Earth is quite small. I'm sure it wasn't that difficult for Kakarot to conquer the beings that inhabit this place.
Hey, Raditz, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Vegeta. What is it?
I forgot to mention something of utmost importance. When you manage to recruit Kakarot, remember to go immediately to planet Europe.
be waiting for you there. All right. Understood. And one last thing. Kakarot is a low-class warrior, isn't that right? Yes. From what little I was born with insignificant...
Oh, that shit just kept me out.
Raditz, can you hear me?
At that moment, Raditz did not understand what had happened, but his Cyan ship had collided with a small wormhole, causing him to travel years into the future, arriving on the Earth of an apocalyptic world.
That's cat, bro.
You did an excellent job, Kakarot. Everything indicates that this planet was completely devastated by the power of a Scion. There is someone very powerful in that direction. Who could it be? I can't believe it. It's someone with a battle power level of 2 million. This is impossible. This machine must definitely be malfunctioning. Still, it's very likely that the bearer of this power is Kakarot. Prepare yourself, Kakarot!
What this dangerous Scion didn't know was that, in the city he was heading toward, androids 17 and 18 were spreading terror.
Just like the good old days.
The inhabitants of this planet are far too weak, so it's only natural that Kakarot defeated them with ease. Where are you, brother? The warrior blood of the Saiyans runs through your entire body. I'm glad to see you still carry it after so much time. There are Earthlings fighting to survive. This place was attacked recently, which means Kakarot must be very close to here. Is that you, Kakarot? Hey, who are you? What are you doing in this place? Hey, Kakarot, what the hell are you doing dressed like that? What happened to the Saiyan armor that was assigned to you when you were sent to this planet?
Don't make a
Kakarot, that can't be. Could this guy be? How is it possible that he's still alive? He should have been eliminated a long time ago. Hey, Kakarot, what's wrong with you? Answer me already. Pay attention, because I'm only going to say this once. I am not the person you're looking for. However, I need to know where you come from and what you're doing in this place. If you're not Kakarot, then get out of my way before I annihilate you. I recommend that you don't face me. The difference between our powers is abysmal. What did you say? If you don't believe me, check it yourself with the scouter you're carrying.
Over here.
It can't be. Could he be the one with that power level? There's no doubt that this machine is malfunctioning, but don't worry. This will just be another way to test your power. Well then, are you satisfied? I can't believe it. How is it possible that someone like this exists, with such a level of battle power? I'm certain that this warrior is even stronger than Fraser. How did you obtain this power? Tell me. I'll answer that question if you first tell me where you come from and what you're doing on Earth. Miserable. How do you know I come from another planet? Don't waste time. Answer me. I belong to the most powerful race in the universe, the warrior race of the Saiyans. I came to this place in search of my younger brother, Kakarot. I can't believe it. This has to be a joke. Even so, Kakarot's whereabouts no longer matter to me, because I found someone even stronger. Wouldn't you like to come with me? I promise that with your strength, we'll conquer the universe and defeat the miserable Frieza. I don't know what the hell is going on in this place, but Bulma will definitely know what to do. Hey, would you come with me? I need to explain something of utmost importance. This guy is very suspicious. What are you planning to do? I don't mean to scare you, but something very strange is happening. You don't belong to this future. What do you mean by that? You'd better not provoke me, because I'm capable of destroying Earth in a matter of seconds. I know who you are, because I met you when I was just a child. You're confusing me with someone else, Worm. I never traveled to this planet in the past. Please, follow me. I promise that if you do, I'll help you defeat Frieza. I see with satisfaction that we're finally beginning to understand each other. Very well. We'll go wherever you want. But if this is a trap, I won't hesitate to destroy the planet. Understood? This can't be happening. Now, it's not just the androids. We also have to deal with this Saiyan. But how did he arrive in this world? Did someone have revived him? That's impossible. The Dragon Balls have not existed for a long time. I suppose all these doubts will be resolved when we reach Capsule Corporation. Father, what should I do now? Am I doing the right thing by taking this guy to Bulma and Trunks? But if I don't do this, I won't be able to solve the mystery that has appeared so unexpectedly. I don't know why, but I feel a strange connection with this guy. Could it be because we're both Scions? All of this seems very strange to me. Earth was supposed to be a place meant for low-class warriors. So why does someone exist with over 2 million in power? Did we make some kind of miscalculation? Damn it, now I'm in danger. I don't know where this guy is taking me, but if I oppose him, he won't have any difficulty eliminating me. I need to play along with him, and when he least expects it, I'll annihilate him. On the other hand, where could Kakarot be? Most likely, he encountered this guy and was eliminated. But if I recruit this warrior, and we join forces with Prince Vegeta, it might be possible to defeat Frieza once and for all. All I can do now is hope everything goes according to plan. Still, this guy reminds me a lot of my father. How strange.
What will happen now when Raditz discovers the reality he is living in? How will Raditz's presence on Earth affect Gohan's future? Will they share the same fate, or will Gohan and the others, thanks to this dangerous Saiyan, discover a way to resolve everything?
Raditz, Goku's older brother, had finally arrived on Earth without realizing that this world was under the absolute control of androids 17 and 18. However, while searching for Goku, Raditz ended up coming face to face with the last warrior of that catastrophic future. That warrior was future Gohan, who, biologically speaking, was his nephew. Now, both Scions head toward Capsule Corporation, where many unresolved mysteries are about to be revealed. Hey, Earthling! Let me congratulate you. You did an excellent job conquering this planet. I must admit that despite not having Saiyan blood, you accomplished the mission that my bastard of a brother failed to carry out. You're mistaken. I didn't cause this disaster. What did you say? I wasn't the one responsible for turning this world into a damned hell. In fact, I'm one of the last surviving warriors of the massacre caused by those cursed androids. How strange. If Earth wasn't conquered by this Earthling, then what else could have done it? That means there is someone else with the same power as this warrior. Could it be Kakarot? No, that's impossible. Besides, I don't sense any other powerful presence anywhere. Pay attention. We're about to arrive at Capsule Corporation. What are we doing in this place? I just want you to meet someone who might be able to explain how you ended up here. Who is it? You'll find out very soon. Please stay here until I return. This worm is very suspicious. Is he going to call more warriors like himself to interrogate me? I need to have an escape plan. Even though he's just an Earthling, this guy has a battle power level that surpasses Frieza's. He can defeat me with extreme ease. I have to be careful and pretend for now that I'm his friend. That's right. I completely forgot to report all of this to the prince. Vegeta! Can you hear me? Hey, Vegeta, are you listening? It's me, Raditz. I need to tell you something extremely important. Vegeta, answer me. Where the hell are you? There is an elite warrior on Earth with extraordinary power. At this moment, I am under his custody, and it's certain that I will end up being eliminated. Be very careful and stay alert with the Earthlings when you arrive on this planet. Hey, you, come closer. Now I have to go. I'll do everything possible to survive, so I hope you give proper importance to this discovery. That warrior is likely stronger than Frieza. Hey, hurry up! The situation at that moment was dangerous for Raditz, or at least that's what he thought, until upon entering Capsule Corporation, he was surprised to find that a woman was waiting for him, leaving him completely confused. Hey, Bulma, what do you think? It's him, isn't it? I can't believe it. It really is the Saiyan who invaded Earth many years ago. What the hell are these Earthlings talking about? Hey, you're Raditz, right? You're Goku's older brother, and you came to this planet to take your brother Kakarot with you? How the hell do you know my name? What does this mean? Why is this guy on Earth if he was eliminated many years ago? That's enough, you damn Earthling.
Oh,
Stop
shit.
talking nonsense.
What am I doing?
Tell me what you want from me. Why did you bring me to this place? Hey, Raditz, I don't know how to tell you this, but the truth is, you're already dead. That's impossible. You arrived on Earth more than 20 years ago with the objective of taking someone named Kakarot. In that battle, you were eliminated and died along with your brother. I'm absolutely sure of it, because I saw your corpse with my own eyes. What the hell is this woman talking about? Bulma, what explanation can you give for this? How is it possible that this Saiyan is on Earth? Most likely something happened to his ship while he was heading to Earth. Something that brought him into this future. I'm not sure, but it might have been a wormhole. If I don't get out of this damned place, I'm going to lose my mind. Earthlings, listen carefully. I don't care in the slightest about what's happening here. I'm leaving this place because I have a mission that I need to carry out. Wait, where are you going? I'm going to search for Kakarot and leave with him to find the other Saiyans who exist in the universe. Don't you understand? You're in the future. The man you're looking for, Kakarot, is already dead. What did you say? How do you know my brother is dead? Kakarot passed away many years ago due to a heart disease. Then I will leave this miserable planet immediately. So don't try to stop me, or I'll wipe all of you out this very instant. But where will you go? That's none of your concern. I already said I need to continue my mission and join my companions who are waiting for me on another planet. Raditz, you will never find Vegeta and Nappa. What did you just say? How do you know the names of my companions? You will never find them, because they're dead as well. It's true. Saiyan came to Earth along with Vegeta, and if I remember correctly, Vegeta himself killed him during the battle against Goku and the other warriors. I can't stand hearing so much nonsense anymore. All of you can go to hell. Wait! At that moment, Raditz couldn't take it anymore and left Capsule Corporation, completely bewildered by everything he had heard. He couldn't believe it, and although at first he thought it was some kind of thick joke, everything began to fit perfectly with Gohan and Bulma's account. Vegeta, can you hear me? Hey, Vegeta, it's me! Answer me! This can't be. This is unbelievable. I can't believe that everything they told me is true. I'm sure they're just talking nonsense to confuse me and take advantage of this moment to attack me. Yes, that must be it. Damn it, who are you? It's been a long time since we've run into someone wearing clothes like that. Don't you think, number 18? You're right. The last time I saw someone dressed in such a ridiculous outfit was that weakling Vegeta. Could he be some friend of Gohan's? Hey, who are you? I've never seen you around here. Let me tell you, your appearance is quite intimidating. But I can clearly tell that your strength is insignificant. Did you just call Vegeta a weakling? Do you happen to know the Prince of the Saiyans? I'm looking for him. If you know his whereabouts, tell me now. Otherwise, I'll kill you right here. Hey, it's rude not to answer when someone asks you a question. This guy is very strange. Or maybe fear has completely taken over his body. Number 17, would you let me have a little fun with him? I hate insolent men. All right, he's all yours. Very strong. Damn it, this Earthling woman is incredibly powerful. The damage she inflicted on my body is far too severe. Could they be the ones responsible for this world's disaster? You turned out to be trash, just like the others. Say goodbye to your life. Damn, androids, you won't get away with this. Miserable creatures. Do you think I'll forgive you? Right now, you will witness the fury of a Saiyan warrior. What will happen now that Gohan and Raditz join forces to try to defeat the fearsome Android 17 and 18? Why did Gohan appear on the battlefield to save Raditz? Is there a deeper reason behind all of this? Will they manage to make it out alive? All of this will be revealed in the next episode. Remember, if you want this story to continue, support this video as much as possible so we can bring episode 3 as soon as possible.
This app pays your bills now, and you pay back later. Turn big bills into 4 manageable payments. Plus, it can even build credit history or lower the cost of bills without switching providers. Deferring has paid over 900,000 everyday bills. Don't wait. Get control of your bills with Defer It.
Here it goes. Got a little something for you.
Oh my god, it's over! Honey, why? I at least deserve to know why. You need to protect me anymore. I'm so crazy.
shows nearby incident by location and risk level. Plus, it sends real-time notification. So no matter where we are, we'll know what's happening around us, so we can steer clear of the danger. See, I really can keep you safe.